Going on, guys? Austin here, and today we're going to be looking at 5 Minute Fantasies, Week 11 booming and busting defenses. I've got quite a few defenses. I'm going to say you're going to want to start with at the top Buffalo going against the Miami team, who they have a couple wins over the last 2 weeks against the Jets and the Colts. However, they're still not a great team. They're not great offensively. They're going to be prone to turn the ball over eventually. Fitzmagic will run out, as it so often unfortunately does. And this Buffalo team, they just had a really confusing loss to the Cleveland Browns, where they held the Browns to, I want to say it was like 27 red zone snaps on 5 trips and 0 points. And even though they did that, they somehow managed to find a way to lose. It's a well coached team, a pretty good organization, and so I'm going to say that Buffalo's going to have a great game. I'm going to say you're going to want to start Minnesota. They're playing a rookie quarterback who is into his second game now. And Minnesota, although they have a porous pass defense, they're going to have a really good pass rush and a really good run defense, which, those are two things that you really can't let a rookie quarterback face. So start Minnesota's defense. Start Pittsburgh, an excellent defense this week against Cleveland, a really confusing team. Start the Rams, who, their defense is trending in the right direction against the Chicago team, who, despite what happened against Detroit, their offense is trending in the wrong direction. You're going to want to start the Jets defense, who, they've really been underperforming this year. Their only issue so far has really been the secondary, which, unfortunately, it's been a big issue for them, their secondary. But this Washington game, against rookie Dwayne Haskins, who really hasn't looked good so far, I think that, they'll pretty much be able to limit most of anything he tries to do. I think that Terry McLaurin might end up getting, quite a bit of yards and maybe an accidental touchdown. But other than that, I think that, they can get a lot of sacks, a lot of forced fumbles, and a lot of picks off of this kid. And then start Kansas City. Despite what just happened against Tennessee, giving up 35 points to Ryan Tannehill, this Kansas City defense, they're really starting to get a real pass rush. And against the Chargers team, who their offensive line has been really underperforming the last several weeks, they should be able to, force the game into their own hands. You're going to want to sit New Orleans going up against a pretty hot Tampa Bay offense. I think that 2 weeks ago, Tampa Bay should have beaten the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, they would have if they would have gotten the ball in overtime, but that's a different discussion. You're going to want to sit Carolina going up against Atlanta, who, they're getting Matt Ryan the second week removed from his sprained ankle, so he should be back on top of his, amazing self. You're going to want to sit Denver going up against Minnesota. You've got Kirk Cousins on fire, Dalvin Cook on fire. They finally got the tight end involved in the game. All those factors, lead to a pretty poor showing for the Denver Broncos defense this Sunday. And then I would say you're going to want to sit Baltimore against Houston. I think that this game is going to be really well managed by the Texans and Deshaun Watson. I think that Houston potentially wins this game about 27 to 25 or 26, something around there. But I don't think there's going to be many turnovers or anything like that in this game. So be careful about starting Baltimore as well.